Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and we are in week 4 of the Stitch Pink, the Moda Stitch Pink sew along using my Together pattern. And I've now shared with you how to make all of the different heart blocks and the alternate blocks. And so now it's time, we're not quite ready to put it together, but now it's time to make the sashing and the sashing post 9 patch blocks. And I've got a few tips and tricks to share with that. You can see that it goes throughout the quilt. We've got sashings and these little 9 patch blocks throughout our quilt and even surrounding the outer side. So while there are quite a few of these units to make, they do go together really quickly, and I'll share some tips and tricks with you about these today. Let's get started. Okay, so this week's task is to make our sashing pieces. We're going to actually be making 71 of these. Don't worry, the strip piecing will save you a lot of time. And we're going to be making 42 of these little cute 9 patches. And when I designed this quilt, I knew right away I really wanted to use these dots on the pink for this part of the quilt. And I'm also using the background fabric. Now you will be cutting with the fabric pieces to make your strip sets. I've just got a shorter piece here trimmed down to make it easier to show on the camera, but you will be cutting with the fabric strips from your background and from the pink. And you're going to sew them together. You're going to actually make, let's see, the directions for this week's part of the quilt are found on page 10 and 11 of the pattern booklet. And so you're going to make 18 strip sets like this with the background and then the pink dot and then the background. So 18 of those, and that will be with the fabric strip sets. And from that, you're going to cut your 71 sashing rectangles, and those will be the same size as your unfinished blocks, and all of the measurements are included in the pattern. Now you're going to have some leftover pieces and of different sizes, and from the leftover pieces you're actually going to be cutting these center strips from the 9 patch are cut from that. After you've cut all 71 of these, don't throw your leftovers away because you're going to save them, and you're going to cut all 42 of the center 9 patch units. And I'll just actually cut one really quickly so that there isn't any confusion. Okay, so you'll cut 71 of these from the 18 different sets that you make of this, and then from your leftovers you're going to cut 42 of these center units, and these will become the center of the 42 9 patches. Okay, then you're going to make some more strip sets that have dark, light, dark. You will be making 4 strip sets that have this arrangement of the fabrics. So 18 of these, 4 of these, and from these units you will be cutting 84. I'll just go ahead and cut a couple. You will be cutting 84 of these. And what you'll be doing is taking those along with the 42 centers that you cut from your leftovers, and you'll be putting those together to sew your cute little 9 patch blocks. Remember, when you're sewing these, everything is pressed toward the darks. Flip those over so that when you sew these together for your 9 patches, these seams will nest. And I know this sounds like a lot, 71 of these and 42 of these, but they're actually going to go together very quickly with the strip piecing. And I just wanted to show you something else. I actually showed this in some of the earlier videos, but you can do the same thing. You can stack these as long as none of your seams overlap when you're cutting these units. And I've got 3. My edges are, you know, they need to be straightened up, so I'm going to straighten those edges up. And then I can cut these, and you can just continue to cut those, and that way you're cutting several at a time, and it really does make a big difference. Just to show you on the back of this, I've got these pressed so that when you put them together with these units, you're going to put together where these are going out and these are going in. So these will also nest, but we'll talk more about that next week when we put everything together. But just make sure that when as long as you sew your strip sets with everything pressed to the dark, everything will end up working together well in the end. And once you have all of these complete, if you have all of your blocks completed from weeks 1, 2, and 3, you'll be all ready to put the quilt together next week. Okay, so that's it for today's video. The sashing strip sets and the sashing 9 patches, and I'll be back next week to give you all of the tips and tricks on setting this all together. Okay, that's it for today's video. Go ahead and get started making all of those little 9 patches and all of your sashing pieces. Next week we will be back to put it all together, and again, as usual, we've got all of the links in the description to anything that you might need, links to all of the previous videos if you need to go back and refer to anything there. Can't wait to come back next week and show you some ideas for putting it together, and we will see you then. Thanks so much for stopping by.